Katiba at 16, we're going into several issues here, and some of the things that come about that we experience today is as a result of the promulgation of the Constitution. And there's some things that seem to not be. Devolution, as you're well versed with, came to diffuse power and allow that power and resource to go into all parts of the country. And what that meant is that there were parts of the country then that were developed in a manner that they had never seen development before, albeit that they have not gotten to the point where they should, but we saw something start as a result of devolution. Now, there have been talks that devolution is being undermined by the very fact that resources are not reaching the counties in the manner in which they ought to. Would you see that as deliberate and then as a way to then circumvent whatever plans the Constitution put in place in the first place?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I must apologize for coming a little bit late.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, I think devolution was a great idea. It remains a great idea. Yeah. It's something we toyed around with when we were at the university much earlier in the early 80s. There was huge debates about it because there was a huge contrast between devolution and centralized planning. Remember, there was the Ministry of Economic Planning that was purportedly supposed to know everything all the way to our villages. And yet in the maps they had put on the board were dots. If you wanted to talk about Kirinyaga, you'll just see a dot on the very. They had no relationship with reality. Now devolution came in, and having practiced or having led, been one of the leaders during the period when devolution was not there, I remember as a member of parliament, I would sometimes have to come and look for medicine for my dispensaries, and I'd be given 5 cartons, 1 carton for every dispensary, to go and deliver. And you know what they were in there in that box? Just some aspirins, painkillers, gloves, and dawa ya watoto, the one for Homa. I don't know what they are called. And that was sold, and akina mama would say, Mheshimiwa amelete dawa. Really? Things have changed. Nowadays, we are talking about quality medical care down there at the rural areas. I want us to understand one thing. Having had the opportunity to be one of the first governors, and at that time, the first chair of Council of Governors, there was a time the governor of Mandera came to the Council of Governors. He was elected. That was Ali Roba. He came to tell us that for the first time, they've made a cesarean delivery in Mandera. That was 2014. And he wanted us to celebrate. I told him, I don't think so. I think we just need to mourn. For 60 years, women have died at birth in your county. None has survived when they needed cesarean delivery. Thank God, devolution has come. Now, I'm just telling you that there are certain milestones that have happened in the medical field. For example, Wajir had only 2 doctors and 11 nurses. You can't say the same thing about Wajir at the moment. Take, for example, also Tana River. Tana River has made a lot of progress. Turkana has made a lot of progress. Development would never have been seen in those areas for quite another 50 years if we were to allow things to move in that direction. That is not to say that everything is a bed of roses. We could do better. Devolution has not received adequate resources. For example, you still find, even when we talk about the health budget, still a tiny part of that health budget goes to the counties, is actually shared as shareable revenue. Yet national government is supposed to have about 5 referral hospitals only to deal with. But you'll find them having probably 80% of the budget or 90% of the budget, of the medical budget, while the counties share only 10%. So in my view, there is room for us to improve on that. And I think it is the culture that we need to change amongst the leaders, members of parliament, the entire executive, and we have to have a mind change set. I know there is a problem, of course, there are certain challenges among the counties also in terms of good governance, in terms of developing a strong public service at the county level. So you will see that in the counties, the public service, when I say public service, I'm not talking about the board, I'm talking about the officers in the counties, may not be exactly up to task. They are not properly trained. They seem to be employed at the whims of the powers of the day. And when I left as Chair Council of Governors, we had made an arrangement. We hoped to develop a countrywide public service that is synchronized with the national, so that at some point, even the ones in the counties would move up to the counties without having to lose their terms of service and all that, and that it would be possible to move staff from Kiambu to Bomet, from Bomet to Siaya, from Siaya to Nanyuki, for something like that. We wanted Kenyans to be able to move, but we develop skills. We wanted a public service that is highly skilled. I think that is the area we are yet to touch. Nevertheless, I want to say this is a far cry from what we had before devolution, before the 2010 Constitution. 2010 Constitution has brought us a lot of progress. I want to tell you that during those days, before 2010, the district commissioner was the king. And he was a king unto himself. And you would have a budget sent to the counties. But at the end of the day, what goes into the project was about, you would probably expect 300,000. That looked like it was a lot of money. Imagine 300,000. But you would find the actual money spent on a project, a water project, would be about 15,000 or 30,000. You don't know what happened to the rest. So there was never any serious accountability. I still think at the moment, notwithstanding the challenges, I think it's great improvement.